2025 season is wrapped up, and we got some work to do. Welcome to Underground Sports Talk. I'm Alex.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to talk about the 2025 season, how it went, and what we want to see in the offseason to make sure that we get to the big game next year. So,
Yeah.
it's 2026, so why would we not talk about the 2026 season?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Practically here already. So,
Unfortunately.
starting off with a recap of the 2025 season, the Packers went 9-7-1. We won 4 out of our 6 division games. We swept the Lions,
Oh, yeah.
beat the Vikings once,
Yes, sir.
beat the Bears once,
One time.
lost
Three.
to the Vikings in a meaningless game, and then lost to the Bears in a super duper meaningful game. So, but that doesn't count for regular season record. That's what everybody looks at unless you go to the Super Bowl. Better in the division than we did last year. We were 1 blocked field goal away from being swept by the division last season. We did way better, and we ended up the 7th seed still.
Crazy. 3 straight years of the 7th seed. I think where I want to go with this first is just I think we take away what was the big negative or the big positive of the year. One thing for both of us, and I'm gonna start. We'll start with the negative, and I'll go ahead and start, and I'll let you chime in. Chime in as a little boy.
So we're each gonna do a negative and a positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that? You like that?
I think it's good.
Saw that
Dude.
right off the dome, dude.
Dumb. Just like,
So, my biggest negative is that this team is not clutch. This team offensively is not clutch. We had plenty of games that came down to the wire where we weren't able to win on game-winning drives. Obviously the Bears game, or we're not able to hit clutch field goals, tie the game or to win the game, or to not tie the game. And so I just think that, and I don't know. I guess that's my biggest worry going into this offseason. I don't know if that's fixable. Because why is that happening? Because it's not just happening to like special teams. The offense is doing the same thing. And is this a flaw in coaching? Flaw in the players that we have? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something that we can change in the off season, or if it's something that has to click, or do we have to be one of those teams that have to win by 2 scores, or are we that team? Which that's not the end of the world. I still think we could win a Super Bowl with this team doing that, because I think that's how talented we are when we're fully healthy. But man, another team that never had to play in the clutch, that got really far, but they couldn't seal the deal, and that's the that Patriots team of what year was that? That Randy Moss, where they went undefeated, they lost to the Giants. I can't remember what year that was, but they didn't even have a close game until that game. They blew everybody out. They're just smashing everybody. Nothing was within. They won. I don't know exactly, but I know they were winning by like 20 points on a lot of games, and they were just running through the league. And then the game got close in there, and the Giants kind of did like what the Bears did to us this year. All 3 games, and just came back with some miraculous plays in the 4th quarter. They had that grit, they had that mindset, and Patriots couldn't answer because they were never in that situation, or they could never get past that situation. So that's my big negative of the year, is that the team's really not been clutch this entire year.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, like, if you sum up the Packers, like, you could think of a lot of great things that they do. Good things. They won 9 games. They know how to play football. Both sides have been awesome, but man, other teams are awesome too. And there's gonna be close games, so you got to be clutch. For me, a negative that I'm gonna have to say I mean, I don't know what you want out of me, but this is the first thing that comes to mind is injuries. I feel like, and you can't really fault nobody, but there is one group that I can fault for. Like, who do you blame when it comes when your team has 15 starters on injured reserve? Maybe not starters, players with impact on injured reserve. The athletic trainers, something's got to go on there. I know that we have like that we have a whole um like what do they call the head of athletic trainers or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Something's got to go on. So we gotta watch and make sure that we're preparing the players better before the season starts, because every single year we end up these past couple years just banged up, limping into the playoffs, and I feel like something needs to be done with that. What and I'm kind of at a loss on how to fix that, kind of like the clutch situation here. But I don't know. Do you have any ideas on how we can maybe come up with less injuries throughout the season, especially to huge players? Tucker Kraft, Elton Jenkins, Micah Parsons,
Zach Tom,
Zach Tom.
love missed time.
Got injured. Our quarterback's been
Quay
injured
Walker.
more than we've ever really seen Rodgers get injured.
Yeah. And Quay Walker was hurt for a good chunk of time. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's something you can do. Some of those were freak accidents, like Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons. There's nothing you can do about that. Micah, those non-contact ones, like that. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
we're looking for answers, but at the end of the day, it's just things like that. Like, man, we need to stay healthy, but I guess in order to counter that, you need to have people step up.
Yeah.
We need to be more clutch. I feel like our whole team was demoralized heavily when Parsons got injured.
Yeah.
He's the life. How is he the life of the team? I
Well,
get it. He's great, but
think about this. You just got me thinking about something. Who was the clutchest player on our team?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. He was the only person that he played great in first half, but he was the best player by far almost every single game that he played in the second half on both teams. Every game. He's dominating those second halves, and we need more of that. So maybe that's the answer for my question, is just having a clutch guy coming back. Somebody like that. Another clutch guy actually who ended up making big plays at the end of games, Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
He made a lot of big plays at the end of the game. So maybe that's it, because how many times did Jordan Love was able to throw a short dump off pass to Kraft and he broke it for a first down or 20 yards. He's probably the best after the catch player on our team, running back, receiver, tight end. So maybe that's it. But
yeah, I think you could easily chalk it up. We could just end the segment right now and say, yeah, we had a bunch of injuries. We had key guys out. Let's go at it next year. Let's stay healthy. Boom, we're done. Like it's as simple as that. But yeah, that's my negative thing of the season. Injuries, riddled with injuries, demoralizing injuries at that.
yeah, that's I guess that kind of goes into my positive. The positive for me for the season is when healthy and locked in, I feel like we are the best team in the NFL. I feel like we're the most talented team. I just don't feel like we put it together. And even when we were healthy, I feel like we didn't put it together, like we were talking about before, on both sides of the field. It'd either be the offense or the defense. But I do think we have the personnel, even if we didn't improve, which we are going to improve. We have a great GM. I think we have the best GM in the league. Side note, shout out to Goody. He's done amazing. And But yeah, that's where I think that going into next year, I mean, everybody's still excited. As a Packers fan, I'm still excited because I've seen what we've done when we had Micah, when we had Kraft, when we had our offensive line put together. I've seen what we've done in spurts. I'm not saying that we didn't have one good game though, or one great game where we put everything together. And I I think giving us some time through the offseason. I think next year, you know, I expect huge things from us next year. So that's my
Yeah, there will be. There will be. Um, you know, I'd say a good thing, a good takeaway from the season.
take you away from the. He just took himself out of the game. That's what he wants to take away
Oh
from the
my
season.
goodness.
Took
What
himself
the
out
freaking
and put his forehead off the camera.
there we are. Um, a good take on the season here is what was yours? You said like a billion things.
No, I just think we're the best team in the league. I think we are talent wise. We're the best. Yeah, I guess I didn't really specify. We're the most talented team in the league.
When healthy.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's pretty broad in itself. But
Well, I mean, like on both sides of the ball. I don't think there's a team. I don't think there's a team in the
so
league
broad.
in the league that has a defense and an offense that has as much talent as we do
Yeah.
on the
Um,
combination. You know, it's usually one side of the ball. They have a great offense with a solid defense. But I think we have a great offense and a great defense once we put it together.
yeah.
Talent wise, that's what I said. Talent wise.
Okay. So one thing that I like, that some people are kind of looking out for whatever reason, is that we never seen Jordan Love regress. He's progressing. He's continuously progressing and showing why he's the starter of the Green Bay Packers. Um, he's done some great things this season. Before he got injured, he was starting to get into some MVP talks. And unfortunately, like one of the negative things was injuries happen. But I think Jordan Love had a great season. I think he solidified, instilled some confidence in some of the doubters and kind of solidified his role, even in the playoff game that we lost. He had a great game there. Just, 300 plus yards, 4 TDs, just going in, no interceptions. Jordan Love's been blamed and had that label on him as, oh, he throws a lot of picks and big moments. Like, not really. He didn't this season. And even those little things that we are like, man, he needs to just tweak this. He seems to have tweaked it. I mean, obviously there's some stuff he should tweak this season, like I had said. But I'm happy with Jordan Love. I think he's our guy, and we just got to stay healthy around him, keep him healthy, keep him upright, get some depth in that line, get those guys back, and we should be good.
Yeah. No, I feel like, his stats, if you look at him for the 3 years he's starting, first year he threw 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And I would say the regression um, kind of happened last year, where he threw about 3,400 yards, 25 TDs, and 11 interceptions. He threw because he missed 2 or 3 games last year, so still throwing 11 picks. That's a lot, I would say. Now that a lot of that happened early on in the season, and that's one thing that I like from him. This year he had 3,400 yards, just about 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. People are probably looking at, well, he only had 23 touchdowns. Now a lot of those games were up, and we're running the ball, and he didn't need to because of how dominant the defense is. But
Yeah.
if you look at the last 4 full games he played, Chicago, the playoff game, 300 yards, 4 TDs. Denver was his one bad game. It's pretty good defense. 276 yards, a TD, 2 interceptions. Chicago, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception. That's a good game. 234 yards against Detroit, 4 touchdowns. So he was on fire before he got hurt. Outside of that Denver game, I still look at that one as kind of an anomaly too, because everything that happened in that game, we lost like everybody that you know everybody that's ever played for the Packers. So it was pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that I'm confident in Love. I was actually talking to um, one of the coaches on our basketball team, the head coach, and he was like, "I hate Jordan Love. How'd you guys draft somebody that threw 17 interceptions in his last year of college?" I was like, well, he only had 6 interceptions this year. The interceptions aren't the problem. He's not a He's not a turnover. He's not turning the ball over. Look at people that are high on players. Everybody's high on Caleb Williams, right? He had a good game, right? He threw just about the same amount of. He threw 30 more yards than Rodgers. He had 2 touchdowns and 2 picks
Then Rodgers.
than Love. So, but yeah, so I think the narrative gets there. You get bad narratives when you lose in the playoffs, and that's fair. That's fair for Love. He's losing in the playoffs over the last 2 years. We're one and done. You're a Green Bay Packer quarterback. The expectation is to win in the playoffs. You can win as much as you want in the regular season, and as other quarterbacks, if you're a quarterback of like say the Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns, you win 11 games in the regular season. Who cares what you did in the playoffs? You actually got them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
As a Packers quarterback, you have to win games. Think about it. You know who won games in the playoffs? Aaron Rodgers. And what was a big thing on him? He can't win a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole nother ball game. But I feel like I agree. I feel like Love's up for it. I'm ready for him to have I think he hasn't had his complete breakout season.
Yeah.
He will be a top 5 quarterback. I guarantee that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean those are some good things for the season. We're very talented, as Jordan said. Most talented in the league. Jordan Love, I feel like solidified the fact that he's our guy. Ain't nobody. I mean, he's been for me and for Jordan, but like, there's been a few doubters out there. As far as things that we're gonna want to see going into the next season throughout this offseason.
Yeah. What kind of like what kind of moves you want to see, or what kind of improvements to the roster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me, baby.
What I want to see is, I like our corners. Kind of. I want to see what Trayvon Diggs has going on there. I do like our DBs. We got Javon Bullard, Carrington Valentine. He needs to improve a little bit. I would like to see them add some depth there. Add some more big guys on the D line. I like our D line, but just for more depth. And then as well as the offensive line. Pick up some guys for the offensive line. And again, for depth, in case we get injured. Because I have so much PTSD on injuries. All I can think about right now is depth. Because like you said, when healthy, we have the most talented team in the league. But if we're drafting for depth, and maybe one of these guys are even better and they can start, that's cool. I'm fine. But let's find some corners. Let's find some D linemen and some offensive linemen, and I'm good to go. We don't need no huge free agent signing like we have these past few years, which I'm happy for, Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, Micah Parsons. Obviously, I'm happy for all that. We don't need it anymore. I feel like we just need to draft, kind of go back to what we were doing. Now we're at that point where we can do that, because we got all the talent, and draft some big guys and draft for depth.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that we have the stars, right? We have the stars in place. I feel like our cornerback room is missing a number 1 corner. Like, I mean, if you think about it, if those corners drop down, if Keyshawn Nixon's your number 2 and Kevin Valentine's your number 3, that's a great cornerback room. But I too want to see what they can do with Diggs. Like, I'm fine if that's who their starters are going to be, if it's them 3. But they need to have some legitimate depth, because all 3 of those players are going to get hurt. I guarantee you, they're going to miss time. And depth everywhere else. I agree. My biggest thing is we need to reallocate the money of Gary. We need to get him off the books. He cannot be a Green Bay Packer no longer. And where it's kind of, I don't think that we really need that money specifically into the edge room. What I do want to see us bring in somebody else, but I still feel pretty good about Van Ness and Ingelabari. I think those are 2 solid.
There's no L in there.
There is. I just put it in there. So they're 2 solid rushers, and we have some people that were coming off injuries late in the season that I feel confident in them going forward. Definitely would like to see some D-line help, but if we're to make any type of splash move, there's only two spots that I would really. I mean, number one corner. If we can go out and get a number one corner, you do it. But I would say I want to see some. I want to see them bring somebody in that running back. I don't know about Josh Jacobs. I love Josh Jacobs. He's one of my favorite players. But what's happened here over the end of the year, and he looks like he's lost it a little bit, lost a step, lost something. And I don't know if that's just injury wise. And even if it is injury wise, like he is one of the most durable running backs in the league. But maybe we don't have to play him through his injuries so he can be fully healthy in the playoffs. Um, if that's the case, if it's not the case, he's lost a step, and we need somebody else in there. And I don't think that I like Emmanuel Wilson. He's not a number 1 or 2 running back in an elite backfield.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't see that one coming. Supposedly Marshawn Lloyd is supposed to be that, but he's just never not injured. So
he also should never be on this team again.
Yeah. Yep. He's another one of those. So, all right. Well, just kind of a quick, instant reaction right after the Packers have been eliminated and the end of our season, kind of what we should do. Obviously, we're going to have more updates going on as people become available and we do get rid of people, so on and so forth. So, hey, stay tuned. This is Underground Sports Talk. As always,
go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.